What is going on, my Houston Texans family? Hope you all are having a blessed Thursday. It was the final practice at the Greenbrier today for this Texans team. There will be no practice tomorrow as they get ready for the Week 1 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. Speaking of that game, I cannot wait because you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be live streaming. Me and the boys, we're going to try to hop on an hour before kickoff. Kickoff is at 3. We're going to try to make sure we have a lot of y'all swarming in here for kickoff. Live streaming the games is one of my favorite things about the season because I do this for the guys who can't watch the game because they're at work or doing something important. I got y'all. I am looking forward to Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot that went down today at training camp, so let's just jump right into it. My name is Mr. 713. This is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. So please make sure you're following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest Houston Texans news, rumors, and updates. And this episode is brought to you and powered by the Deck on Fountain View. After this video, I'm going to go over there and enjoy some of their 75-cent breaded wings. So good. Watch part of free week 1, the Deck on Fountain View. Now, the main thing that went on today, and this was reported by everyone as soon as it happened, CJ Gardner Johnson going down. And today was a padded practice, a scrimmage. So this was physical, as close to a real game as you can possibly get. And you know, this is the shitty part, if I can say a curse word, about training camp is these injuries to some of your key players. And CJ Gardner Johnson, it felt like he was just the cherry on top of the offseason. I cannot believe we got CJ Gardner Johnson for Kenyon Green. Now, we don't know what the final result is, but we heard he went down, couldn't get back up. The cart had to come out, and according to Sean Pendergast, who was at practice, 2 trainers had to help him off. D'Amico Ryan said it was heartbreaking. Not a lot of good signs there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. CJ Gardner Johnson, he put out on his Instagram, a lot goes wrong before everything goes right. You could interpret that many different ways. But I just want to wish CJ Gardner Johnson the speediest of recoveries, man. And, you know, this is a blow. Not only on the field, CJ Gardner Johnson is just one of the best safeties in this league. Can turn the ball over at any given moment. And he was just getting started. He was getting better as training camp was going on. But off the field as well, CJ was already being a leader, was already being loved, you know, in terms of the fans and the local media. CJ Gardner Johnson, like he said, I've been on Super Bowl caliber teams. I've been on Super Bowl winning teams. The Houston Texans are a Super Bowl caliber team. And the fact that we possibly might not have him there for week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. Once again, I don't know what's going on. As soon as we find out, we'll hop right back on the stream. But as of right now, CJ Gardner Johnson having to be carted off the field. And this sucks, man. This sucks because, you know, last year, one of your big acquisitions, Stephon Diggs, goes down. And now you potentially have another one here. Now, hopefully, he's only out for the first month and a half of the season, and we get him going for the playoffs. That's fair. That's fine. Imagine, you know, you have one of your biggest energizer bunnies and playmakers coming back right for playoffs. Fantastic. But negativity, that was a negative part of today's practice. The Houston Texans losing a big part of their defense. Still have faith in the defense, by the way. Now we just have to worry about Jimmy Ward and what's going on with his legal situation. Moving on to something more positive, we heard that the offense in a physical practice had some success out there. In terms of, you know, drives, on their first drive, were able to put up a field goal. On their last drive, were able to march down and get a touchdown to Nico Collins. This is exactly what you wanted to hear after hearing a couple of days of the defense just whooping ass. We know that the offense is still a work in progress, and the fact that we heard they had some success with an offensive line that was without Cam Robinson So, Ariante Ursary, you now have our attention. We talked about you being a franchise left tackle. We started left tackle next year. Could you immediately take the jump and do it right out the bat? And that's not no shade at Cam Robinson, but unfortunately, this is the opportunity that Ariante Ursary was given. Juice Scruggs now thrown back in the center competition. Ed Ingram now thrown back in the starter competition. Both of those guys got some work in with the ones. So to hear that the offense and this offensive line were having some success, even Seth Payne tweeted out that there were some clean pockets today. If I was Titus Howard, I would be texting the boys in the group chat and saying, you see, guys, they bleed too. We can have some success against one of the best defensive lines in this league. So that doesn't. I was about to say that doesn't surprise me that we're hearing some, that they're having some success, but that is surprising and that is some good news. Hopefully, we start hearing more about consistency from the offense. And the last thing we heard was that Xavier Hutchinson had himself a hell of a day. I mean, he's fighting for wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, going up against, Jalen Noel and Justin Watson and Braxton Berrios. Now, we know Jalen Rose is going to make the roster, but I'm talking about in terms of depth chart here. So to hear that Xavier Hutchinson was having a pretty good day out there, he's going to have a strong preseason to rise up the ranks. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a bittersweet day of training camp for the Houston Texans. Their last practice at the Greenbrier, we heard that C.J. Gardner-Johnson unfortunately went down, had to get carted off. We still don't know what the final result is. And on the positive side, we heard that the offense, what they makeshift of offensive line combinations, they were having some success. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and then we'll see you guys Saturday for the game. For more Houston Texans content, you guys all know what to do. Feel free to follow me for more. Go Houston. Have a very blessed day.